You huff one more time and we're going to have a problem. Childers, McDuffie, Mr. Brown, Miss Yagi, my chamber.
On behalf of Mr. Peoples, state your name, Sam.
Samuel Peoples.
Your Honor, in file 1326, Mr. Peoples has not yet been referred to the forensic center. I've prepared an order and we are asking the court to order a forensic examination. In that case,
All right, I will order a forensic examination without objection. On that case, what is my next date? The meeting. Let's see how. Because has he already started the process?
I don't believe he's been interviewed, Your Honor. The competency hearings on those matters are October 30th.
It's just like next week.
That was last week. All right. So set a competency here, October 2025, 9 a.m. All right. What are we doing on the other case?
Your Honor, in the bond violation matter, we'd ask to continue our plea of mute at this time. That bond violation arose from the charges he is now facing in the felony case 1326. Which is charged as a felony, Your Honor.
Sergeant.
Ms. McDuffie apprised the court that there is a tether tamper, which gave rise to the bond violation. He has been charged with a felony for tether tampering. So I think at this time
He has been?
He has, yes, Your Honor.
That's the new one.
There is an error on the complaint. We are having that amended. It should be a general tamper versus the category that's listed.
Yeah, this is wrong. Okay. All right.
So we would just ask to continue our plea of mute and continue these cases to the competency hearing on.
So is he just going to remain in custody?
Your Honor, he's working with a social worker. We are asking, or between now and October 30th, we are hoping to file a written motion. I think something substantive that gives the court a better idea.
What's the objection in releasing? I mean, the thing is that as I understand the cut on the tether, he cut the tether, but he didn't go anywhere. Or I'm saying, yeah, worse, he cut the tether. I'm not. But he didn't go anywhere. He was right there when they went to go get him.
That's my understanding as well, Your Honor. If the court would consider it, then I'd ask that he be released back to home confinement.
I had a lot of anxiety.
Response?
Your Honor, obviously we had an extended conversation about this at the last hearing. I don't have any objection to him remaining on the conditions that he was on prior to this incident. I'm concerned that given that we have this incident, I don't know how sufficient that's going to be, but I'm fine with him returning to home confinement for previous terms.
Mr. Peoples, if I let you go back home, you're going to cooperate and do the right thing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that means you can't tamper with the tether.
I understand now.
You understand that?
Yes.
Or you understood it before you just did it?
I had a moment of anxiety that led to a freak out. Yes. And I felt like I needed to get it off me because it was claustrophobic. And
Got it.
yes.
I hear you. Okay. All right. He's going to be part of the issue. I don't know if there are funds available to try to deal with the payment for that strap. Do you know family-wise whether that's available?
Your Honor, we have been in contact with his family. It's certainly something I can ask them.
Pardon?
It's certainly something I can ask his family. They are here today.
They are here.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Samuel,
Yes, Your Honor.
I give you another shot. You're going to try to do the right thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna do it. I think you can do it,
Me too.
okay?
All right.
Got it?
Thank you.
So what's gonna have to happen is somebody's got to pay money for the strap that got damaged on your tether.
Understand.
I'm gonna reinstate your previous bond where you were previously at home, right?
Mhm.
And then they'll have to do that because you don't have a tether on now, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so they'll have to fit you with a new one prior to your release.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, don't let me down. You hear me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may I add one thing? After
Sure.
consulting with Mr. Peoples' family, they are asking the court if Mr. Peoples has any kind of crisis or something like that, if he can be transported to Trinity, Ann Arbor, without necessarily violating a confinement order. I know it's tricky to do, but they can alternatively contact me and I can talk to the tether agent if that arises.
Response?
We addressed this, I think, at the last hearing. If Mr. Peoples needed to get seek help at the hospital, that wasn't going to be an issue regardless. He would just they would simply need to notify community corrections of what happened and where they are. And if there were any sorts of deviances from the home confinement zone, I think that was the plan, which was to immediately notify community corrections office, so that the court would be apprised of what was happening. But the tether conditions, I believe, want to remain the same.
Actually, what happened last time was the public defender came up on Mr. Peoples' behalf with a communication from CMH and a request, I believe, from his family that they're aware of certain triggering events for Mr. Peoples. That on those triggering events arising, what they were looking for was some leeway from the court to allow them to take what action, not necessarily, I mean, if they had to go to Trinity, that's fine. That's a medical thing at that point. But from what I understood and what was explained to the court, sometimes it may just be a walk just to kind of bring him back and to do whatever. I mean, I'm not using medical terms, but yeah, I think you get what I meant. My understanding is, as we were looking at that, is the people were absolutely not in agreement with that.
That's not correct, Your Honor. The request.
Well, that's what you said.
The request for.
That's what you said at the bench. If you're telling me I'm wrong, then you better be clear, Jade, right now.
I will be clear right now, Your Honor. What I said was no to the request for a tracking tether, not for home confinement. That's what I disagreed with.
When he asked whether or not they could leave, you objected vehemently, which is why I came to the decision that what I was going to do was I was told and I made it very clear, we'll bring him in here, because what I told him very clearly is, fine, you can ask for permission, but maybe we're just in a situation to ask for forgiveness. Let the family do what they need to do. That's what you said. That was your objection.
I'm not disagreeing with that part. The request is for a tracking tether change.
Stop talking. You huff one more time and we're going to have a problem. Childers, McDuffie, Mr. Brown, Miss Yagi, my chamber.
Your Honor, I'm very familiar with Mr. Peoples' case that the court wants to proceed.
All right. Ms. Douglas is now here on behalf of the people on this one. So I think we can finish this up. Here's what I'm doing. His new case had $100,000 bond. I'm going to make his bond in his new case match the bond with the conditions in his other case, so that he can be released, because otherwise he would be held on that. He'll be refitted with a tether on, he'll be refitted with a GPS home confinement tether prior to release. My understanding is the family can pay the $175 to community corrections, so they'll get that paid. And all prior conditions are reinstated. And then we need a new date. So when do we?
Your Honor, my request.
Well, I got the competent, it's actually going to be October 30th.
Okay.
It's going to be our day. So, all right.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I provide the court with the order to undergo forensic?
There hasn't been enough on this case yet, Mr.
I'm not.
No, go ahead.
May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you.
What is this? No, that's
Thank
the
you.
order on the other case. I'm sorry. Not a problem.
Might be tomorrow, but as soon as they're on you.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Anything else on this matter?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right. And Samuel, you told me you're going to do it, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today's courtroom session featuring Samuel Peoples is a perfect example of how the legal system operates when human behavior, procedural requirements, and high-stakes decision-making collide. From the very outset, this case was layered with tension, uncertainty, and a series of decisions that could have dramatically shifted outcomes depending on small actions and timing. Let's start by setting the stage. Samuel Peoples faces multiple legal challenges, including pending felony charges under case number 1326, competency hearings, and a recent bond violation stemming from what might seem like a minor technicality, but is actually far more serious than it initially appears. The focal point, as highlighted in today's session, was the tampering of his electronic tether. For those unfamiliar, an electronic tether is not merely a convenience. It's a judicial monitoring tool designed to ensure compliance with home confinement orders. It's effectively the court's way of keeping a close watch on defendants who are permitted to remain in their homes instead of being in custody. Tampering with such a device constitutes a violation and is treated with significant gravity under the law. In this case, Samuel Peoples did indeed cut the tether. At first glance, many might assume this action signals an attempt to flee or evade justice. However, the court and defense counsel carefully established the context. Samuel did not attempt to escape, and authorities found him on site when they went to investigate. This distinction between intent and action is pivotal in legal terms. In criminal law, intent often weighs as heavily as the act itself when considering culpability and sentencing. Here, the court was tasked with interpreting whether Samuel's action was a deliberate violation designed to circumvent justice or a momentary lapse due to emotional distress and anxiety. Throughout the hearing, the tension was palpable. The judge's opening statements immediately established the seriousness of the proceedings, listing each participant and making clear that this was a matter requiring precision and careful adherence to protocol. The defense, led by Warren Green, promptly moved to highlight Samuel's mental state and argued that a forensic examination was appropriate. Competency hearings were scheduled for October 30th, and these would ultimately assess whether Samuel fully understood the proceedings and could participate effectively in his own defense, a requirement that is fundamental to the principles of due process. Now, let's talk about the tether tampering itself. Samuel explained that his action was not premeditated, but was instead a response to feelings of claustrophobia and anxiety. This point cannot be overstated. Courts often have to make difficult decisions when behavior intersects with mental health. While the act of cutting the tether was a clear violation, the explanation offered context. Samuel experienced a moment of panic which led to a temporary, impulsive action. The defense emphasized that this was not an act of defiance but a human response to stress. This argument is critical because it introduces nuance into what could otherwise have been treated as a straightforward violation. From a judicial perspective, the court had to balance enforcement with fairness. On one hand, allowing Samuel back under home confinement while having tampered with a monitoring device might be seen as leniency. On the other hand, the judge clearly weighed the lack of flight risk, Samuel's cooperation with authorities, and the insights from his legal counsel. The ultimate decision to reinstate Samuel's home confinement bond, paired with a requirement to cover the cost of a new tether, demonstrates a careful calibratis of accountability and rehabilitation. It signals that while the court takes violations seriously, it also considers intent, behavior, and opportunity for corrective action. Family involvement added another dimension to this case. Samuel's family appeared in court to advocate for his well-being and to request some flexibility should he experience a crisis. Specifically, they asked that he be allowed to seek medical treatment at a facility such as Trinity in Ann Arbor, without automatically being considered in violation of his confinement. This is where the system shows its human side. The court acknowledged the request and clarified the protocol. Medical intervention would be permitted provided that community corrections was notified immediately. This arrangement exemplifies the delicate balance between maintaining legal control and responding to legitimate human needs. Throughout the proceedings, the defense and prosecution demonstrated a dynamic understanding of the legal and human factors at play. The prosecution noted the seriousness of the Tether violation, but also recognized that Samuel had not attempted to evade custody. The defense provided a comprehensive explanation, emphasizing mental health, intent, and the role of the family. In the end, the judge's decision reflects both the procedural rigor of the court and a compassionate interpretation of circumstances. It underscores an essential principle. The law is not just about punishment. It's about maintaining justice in context. The competency hearing scheduled for October 30th is another critical component. Competency hearings assess whether a defendant can understand the proceedings and assist in their defense. This is not merely a procedural formality. It ensures that all parties receive a fair trial and that the defendant is not disadvantaged due to mental incapacity. Samuel's actions, including the Tether incident and his explanations for it, will likely inform the court's assessment of his competency. For viewers, this case raises important questions. How much leeway should the court provide for human error under home confinement? Are measures like electronic tethers primarily punitive, or are they genuinely protective for both the defendant and the community? And from Samuel's perspective, what lessons can be drawn about communication, compliance, and navigating complex legal frameworks? These questions are vital because they highlight the intersection of law, psychology, and personal accountability in real-world cases. It's also worth noting the courtroom dynamics. The exchanges between defense counsel, the prosecution, and the judge reveal a system that is meticulous, highly procedural, and yet capable of human judgment. Moments of tension, clarification, and negotiation are not simply drama. They're the mechanisms through which the court ensures fairness while maintaining authority. The courtroom is not just a place of judgment. It's a space where legal principles are applied in real time, often under high pressure and with far-reaching consequences. From a broader perspective, Samuel Peoples' case exemplifies the challenges inherent in home confinement systems. While these systems offer alternatives to incarceration, they also require constant compliance, understanding of rules, and cooperation with monitoring authorities. Small lapses, intentional or not, can escalate into significant legal issues. The system's flexibility, in this case, demonstrates that rehabilitation and accountability are not mutually exclusive. They can coexist when handled judiciously. In summary, Samuel Peoples' case teaches us several lessons. Context matters. The intent behind an action is as important as the action itself. Communication is crucial, both with the court and with monitoring authorities. Support systems are essential. Family involvement and mental health considerations can influence outcomes. The law balances enforcement with fairness. Judges have to weigh technical violations against human behavior and potential risks. Ultimately, the court's decision to reinstate Samuel's home confinement bond require the cost of a new tether to be covered, and outline clear protocols for crisis situations reflects a nuanced, fair, and pragmatic approach. The case demonstrates how the legal system manages complexity, human behavior, and procedural integrity simultaneously. If you found this case as shocking and insightful as we did, don't forget to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next episode, where we continue to unpack cases that test the limits of law, accountability, and human behavior in the courtroom. Behavior in the courtroom.